Now, continuing with prayer, we'll now cover what is said in Rukhu, genuflection, and Sajdah, prostration. In the position of Rukhu, you bow down to Allah in humility, knowing how great He is. After all, any true Muslim considers God as the greatest and the supreme power. So you never bow down to anybody else because only Allah deserves that form of worship. With your head bowed down, you then utter Subhana Rabbil Azim wa bihamdih. Glory be to my God, my Lord, the most great and the most worthy of praise. These words, accompanied with the position of bowing down, gives a feeling of servitude to your Lord and bondage to Him. Because you are offering prayer and acknowledging His greatness, in a way you are connected to Him. You are willingly becoming the servant of God, a servant whom Allah loves dearly. And due to the fact that the servant of God cannot belong to anybody else, you are openly announcing Allah's honor and His greatness. This phrase is another acceptance of your monotheism and Allah's greatness. As a slave, the person who says this with a pure intention and a sincere heart is rejecting any form of shirk and announces his honor and his freedom from any other slavery. This is the importance of Rukhu and understanding what you say. As you raise your head from Rukhu, you prepare for the most ultimate form of humiliation, the most greatest form of humiliation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are preparing to put your forehead on the ground in front of Allah and for Allah. This form of worship is so high, it's known as the highest degree of human humility. One thing to know is that the humility I am talking about is not bad. It's not embarrassing, nor does it ruin one's reputation. Google says otherwise, but when I say humility, you can think about it as debasing yourself in front of Allah and accepting that He is the greatest and He is the creator of all. This form of servitude is so very high, but it is appropriate in front of Allah because we all know He is the greatest, the creator and the merciful, etc., etc. But prostration, like this form, is so high, it's strictly prohibited to do this to any other human being, only to Allah. So with your head on the floor, you utter Subhana Rabbil A'la wa bihamdih. Glorified is my Lord, the highest and the worthy of praise. When you go into sajdah, you are not in any way prostrating before a creator in need or a being which is weak, so to say. When you go into prostration, you're prostrating before your Lord, the supreme and the magnificent. You declare your obedience to Allah and surrender to a Lord who is wise and the only God. You are giving absolute servitude in front of Allah. You are making yourself free from the slavery of this world and its deviation from the truth. In these two positions, you, the one who is offering the prayer, are in front of the Creator of all and the most magnificent. You are submitting to Allah and being His servant. But all of that at the same time, you are also denying anything else and any falsehood. Imam Ali alayhi salam says that you are in the nearest state of communication when in sajdah. Both of these positions are so important, and if you understand them, inshallah you will be closer to Allah.